Tonight, members assisting ministers' role ends this month. Regional participants attend Pacific Regional Cohort workshop. And coverage of Tua Show Day a success. Good evening and welcome to our news bulletin. I'm Mersa Takala. A special whakalofa atu to our viewers from across the region thanks to our partners at Pacifica TV. Leading our bulletin tonight, Vafono Eke Pulle said yesterday, and this is the first sitting of the new assembly since the public referendum last month. Here's more with Esther Pavihi.
Prime Minister Dalton Tangilangi in his statement said that the government has heard the voice of the people in the outcome of the public referendum. He did call on the people to support the efforts of the government. Prime Minister Tangilangi also announced that the positions of the members assisting ministers will cease to exist at the end of this month. He explained that a bill is ready to be tabled in the Assembly to remove the roles of members assisting ministers as contained in the civil list. Members of the Whanau Pulle shared their views on the outcome of the public referendum and the reasons that people shared with them about their concerns, with many members saying that the people in general felt that there was very little information available to them to make an informed decision. Of the 4 proposed changes to the Constitution, the public rejected the proposed amendments to increase the number of cabinet from 4 to 6 and to extend the term of the Assembly from 3 years to 4 years. While the members of the Assembly yesterday dissected the outcome of the public referendum, members also acknowledged that there are lessons learned from this exercise. Esther Pavihi for BCN News.
The much-anticipated 7th Pacific Islands News Association or PINA Summit will be held next week on the island, with this year's theme Charting a Resilient Future, Navigating Media Freedom, Artificial Intelligence and Geopolitical Interest. BCN News spoke with PINA's manager and organizing committee member for the event, Makirata Komai, who is happy to be back on the island and is looking forward to up to 100 participants from across the region converging here. She shares that for the very first time, they will be introducing an app where participants can access all the relevant information about the event.
I'm even excited myself to be in Niue. I think one of the exciting things to expect or for our delegates to look forward to is for the first time in the history really of PNI for the last 50 years, and we've had 7, this is the 7th Pacific Media Summit, is we're going to have a conference app. Never ever have we had a conference app where delegates get all the information about the summit, the agenda, the speakers, and can even network with each other on the phone.
Komai, a former veteran Fiji journalist, highlighted some key areas of discussions during the summit.
But the 3 main ones that we're looking at are the press freedoms. Of course, there's a lot of issues around press freedom, and of course, we from Fiji, we've lived with the media legislation. So a lot of discussions around that issue. And then there's also the challenge of the geopolitical interests, the influences, if yes or not, of the big powers that are now in the region, whether they are influencing a lot of our work.
Niue is hosting the event for the very first time. The summit is the largest meeting of news and media practitioners and news outlets in the Pacific. The new Trade Policy Framework Review was launched yesterday at the Fale Fono 1 foyer. Minister for Infrastructure and member for Tomako Tonga Village, Riki Makani, spoke about the significance of the launch.
It is with great pride that we launched the new Trade Policy Framework Review today. A report that showcases the tremendous progress we have made as a nation, despite the unique challenges we face. The dedication of our people and government, guided by the new National Strategic Plan, NSP, and the Trade Policy Framework, TPF, has steered us towards greater economic self-reliance and integration into global and regional markets.
The new European Union ambassador to Niue, Barbara Plinkett, congratulated Niue on the launch. The Trade Policy Framework Review will ensure that Niue's trade policy remains fit for purpose, reflecting the current priorities of the Niue government in the trade space and addressing the key international and trading developments since 2016.
So against the background of our support for economic integration and newest application to accede to the economic partnership agreement with the European Union, I'd like to really commend NIWE on its commitment to update your trade policy framework. Really congratulations to this important work that you've done. And I would like to also reassure NIWE that we are there to also support its implementation when you look at the priority sectors that you have identified to support building the capacities of the local private sector in implementing your own trade policy. We would like to be there with you and see how we can be supportive.
A Pacific Regional Cohort 2 workshop is currently being held this week at the Matavai Resort, bringing together 8 Pacific country representatives, including the Maldives. The week-long event was officially opened by Prime Minister Dalton Tangilangi on Tuesday and organized by the NIWE government through the National Designated Authority through the Green Climate Fund Readiness Preparatory and Support Program.
The main objective of this workshop is to build a community of practice for National Designated Authorities, or NDAs, to strengthen engagement with the Green Climate Fund and recognize entities for climate action. South Pacific Regional Environment Program's Deputy Director General Esther Chu Xing explains they are the delivery partner for the Green Climate Fund and working closely with NIWE for their readiness program.
So SPREP is the delivery partner for the Green Climate Fund, and working closely with NIWE on the readiness program. So we're here this week really supporting and helping out and assisting with running of this Pacific Regional Cohort meeting this week.
NDA focal point on the island and the director of the government's Project Management Coordination Unit, Felicia Talangi, said the session is an opportunity to hear from other regional participants on their experiences about accessing financial support from the Green Climate Fund.
So the Green Climate Fund is a financial instrument under the United Nations Convention for Climate Change. And what we wanted to achieve was to hear from our brothers and sisters around the region, their experiences, their journey in accessing financial support from the Green Climate Fund.
The Green Climate Fund's Regional Office for the Asia Pacific, Samantha Rabin, also shared on the Green Climate Fund.
So the GCF is the largest climate finance mechanism in the world. We are accountable to the UNFCCC, and the readiness program is exactly that name. It helps countries to be able to get ready to engage with the fund. It's a capacity building program, as I had mentioned. It's really it's owned by the countries. It's really a bottom-up process. We also support the adaptation planning. It's all in line with national processes and procedures and the overarching climate plans for the country in line with the Paris Agreement.
The Green Climate Fund is a fund for climate finance that was established within the framework of the United Nations Convention on Climate Change. Esther Pavihi for BCN News.
Building capacity to help achieve successful climate change project implementation is at a core of a 3-day introductory training that was held last week on the island. The session is focused on accessing climate finance to help build a resilient NIWE and was facilitated by the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program through the Pacific Climate Change Center. Sessions included project planning, design, and the skills required for project planning and development, particularly those funded by the Green Climate Fund. SPREP Director of Climate Change Resilience, Ms. Tangaloa Cooper, says the work we are doing here is critical for taking the resilience of NIWE a step further. The new European Union Ambassador to NIWE, Her Excellency Barbara Plinkett, presented her credentials to Cabinet on Monday. Plinkett is visiting the ROC for the first time, shared with BCN News regarding this. The new European Ambassador to NIWE, Barbara Plinkett, has been enjoying her visit, especially being part of last week's Tuapa Village Show Day. She has 15 years of diplomatic experience, and prior to taking up her new role as the EU Ambassador to the Pacific, she was in charge of relations with Southeast Asia and ASEAN at the European External Action Service in Brussels.
Before coming to this position, I was in charge of Southeast Asia from our headquarters in Brussels for a couple of years, and before that I was the ambassador of the European Union to Singapore. And before that, I've had quite a long career already in as an EU diplomat since more than 20 years in different parts of the world, in Africa, in Central Asia, and then Asia, and now the Pacific.
Right. And is this your first visit to Niue? And how are you enjoying it so far?
So yes, it is my first visit to Niue, and I can say I'm enjoying it very much.
Climate resilience, ocean and trade are some key areas of discussion she had with the Prime Minister, Dalton Tangilangi, during her presentation of credentials on Monday.
I was very honored to have presented my credentials to the Honorable Prime Minister, accrediting me now as the Ambassador of the European Union to Niue. That has been a great honor, and it was also very good to discuss some of our past and ongoing and our future cooperation. I think our relationship is based mainly on the Samoa Agreement, that was signed last year in November in Samoa, which defines the relations between the European Union and the big group of the African, Caribbean and Pacific countries. And now we need to make it work. We need to implement it. Niue is a member of the Samoa Agreement as well.
When asked about her long-term plans for both countries,
I've had a very wide range of meetings with different parts of the government to look at what we've done jointly in the past and what is still ongoing in terms of our cooperation, mainly in the energy sector, renewable energy, in the water sector, nature-based solutions, climate resilience, and also in the health sector. So all these various sectors, I was able to speak to the various departments of the government and get a good overview of what are their priorities and also to look forward to what we can do together in the future.
Plinkett is here with her family and is based in Suva, Fiji, and looks after 13 Pacific Island countries. She departs the island tomorrow. And staying with the diplomatic corps, BCI News caught up with the new Republic of Korea ambassador to Niue, His Excellency Chang-sik Kim, yesterday. With over 30 years of diplomatic experience, His Excellency Chang-sik Kim says he's happy to be on the rock on his first official visit to the island, admiring the lush green environment. During his presentation of credentials to Cabinet on Tuesday, Kim spoke on some areas that both countries will be focused on.
The first thing I want to underline is I came to be a first ambassador to Niue, and my duty is doubled up to promote and increase the exchange and cooperation between our two countries, and that is the first things I have to do. And the second thing is more specific areas of cooperation, such as the economy, and some climate change responses, and the public matters such as education and the health. So that is the areas we have discussed.
He also spoke on various long-term partnership with a focus on the economy.
Long-term, the area of cooperation, of course, it is about economy. So every country after COVID-19, we have been just reviving and getting back to normal. So Niue, Korea are no exceptions. We are on the way to come back to normal. And the economic condition is very important in that process. So my focus goes to the how to promote the cooperation in the area of economy. And climate change, as I mentioned, just has impact on the economy of the countries.
Kim, who is based in Wellington, has plans to visit Niue again. He departs the island tomorrow.
I just want to say the congratulations of the Constitution Day, Niue, and the 50th anniversary. That was great to hear. And I will be coming back to join the kind of the conference or other, the bilateral cooperation in the time to come. And my wish is that as a first ambassador, I just want to do very much substantive the cooperation with the government of Niue.
Renowned Niuean artist John Pulle held a solo exhibition last week in New York. The exhibition, titled Leave It At That, was held at the Venus over Manhattan Gallery in New York. In a press release by the Venus Over Manhattan website, it states the exhibition is a unique opportunity for the American audience to experience the depth of Pulle's dynamic work, enhancing global awareness of his singular vision and practice. Pulle, speaking to BCN News, said he was grateful for the support from friends in Auckland that happened to be in New York when the show opened and turned up for the event with a few expats as well. Pulle's work features new paintings from a series produced last year. According to the press release, paintings such as the Deep Niue evening paintings showcases Pulle's distinct engagement with both rich, saturated colors and nature. The painting compel the eye and draw the viewer into Pulle's fantastical abstract landscapes. A total of 14 artwork were part of the exhibition. The exhibition will remain on view until October 26. Pulle returns to the island next month. It was another successful show day for the village of Tuapa over the weekend. Locals and visitors alike turned up in numbers to take advantage of the many varieties of food and products available on the day. Niue Prime Minister Dalton Tangilangi welcomed everyone to the Rock and added, "What you see is what you get."
To all our visitors, I know there's quite a few of you here. Welcome to the Rock of Polynesia. What you see is what you get. As I always say, enjoy yourselves here. There's a lot of you that came very far, European representatives, I believe, and others within the region. Enjoy yourselves here with the people of Tuapa Uhumotu, and look forward for some of our discussions next week. You saw today, this is what it's all about. So I'm hoping that we don't have to talk much. What you see, I always wanted to see in action, so I'm looking forward for all your support when you return, wherever you come from.
Tuapa Youth Representative Ashley Pihigia said leadership is just not about the title we hold, but the responsibility to serve and a steward of our heritage.
Our people were known as guardians of peace and harmony, and in many ways, the spirit of leadership is in our DNA. It's in our blood to lead with peace, humility, and vision. As we celebrate today, let us be reminded that leadership is not just about titles or the power we hold. It's about the responsibility to serve. It's about being stewards of our heritage, protectors of our land, and voices for those yet to come. Our role as guardians of harmony is as important now as it was in the past.
The next scheduled show day will be the village of Alofi North next Saturday. A World Archery Body Development Officer from New Zealand is on the island this week to conduct training for the Niue Archery Association. BCN News caught up with Kushla Matheson on Monday, who shared more on the purpose of her visit.
The World Archery Body's Development Officer, Kushla Matheson, says that the training is a refresher course for coaches to upgrade their skills in order for them to teach all they've learned to the athletes on the island.
So through World Archery we have a knowledge sharing program and the Niue Archery Association applied for a coach trainer program. So I'm here for the week and I am training the coaches so that they will then be able to look after the archers coming through, joining the organisation later on.
She said that due to COVID, all these training had to be postponed until now.
After COVID and the lockdowns and that, the association's been around since 2018, but of course, this was planned for, back in 2020, and of course we couldn't deliver that with lockdowns and things. I wasn't able to get out of the country, and you couldn't have people coming in. So this is kind of a bit of a refresh. So to get the coaches up to speed, the athletes who haven't trained for a little while, to be able to get them shooting well again.
The Niue Archery Association President, Losana Sioneholo, said they are very happy to be part of this training. Matheson hopes that through the training, the coaches can upgrade their skills and be able to work with those that might be interested in the sport in future.
At this point, I'm just really excited about the number of coaches that we've got here and the skills that I've already seen them develop over the last couple of days. So I'm really excited to spend the rest of the week working with them and developing that coaching the coaching pedagogy, the coaching knowledge that they've got.
The Niue Archery Association was established in 2018 with about 20 members. Esther Pavihi for BCN News.
And to end things off tonight, the Alofi North Women's Group put on another great show day held at their hall yesterday. Group President Nike Misikea said despite their small number, the women still showed up with all their beautifully made products from necklaces, hats, sarongs, mats, and much more.
This year, We didn't go back and say like last year to do seven items, 5 items per lady. But this year we look back because it's a 50th celebration of Pulle. And then by that time, when our first matua, who formed and built up our group of Alofi North Women's Club, we do what we want, and that's what we did this year.
The group also took the opportunity to thank the Australian government for their donations. The women were happy at the turnout as locals and tourists alike showed up to take advantage of the many available handmade products and food available at the event.
We have been very appreciative for the funds that we received from Australian High Commissioner. Actually, we did. We had some tables and chairs, and we have a block printing board, but that is yet to come. And we have a stencil for block printing as well. At the moment, we have brought that, the tables and chairs, and we have used it this morning, but the board and the stencil, the board is not here yet, so we haven't actually placed our stuff in order for us to continue to use it. But we're very happy and very grateful and thankful for the Australian High Commissioner for the funds that we receive, and we hope that we'll continue to seek for their assistance through financial support for the women in the future.
BCN News also had a chance to speak with one of the ladies, Moka Tano. Her table featured handmade sarongs, bed sheets, bracelets, and beautiful headpieces. Also present at the event was the Minister of Social Affairs, Honourable Sonia Talangi, and Australian High Commissioner to Niue, Katie Stewart. And that's our news bulletin for tonight. You can join us next Tuesday for our Wangahau Bulletin. Until then, good evening.